Hey guys, what's going on? It's Mr. Brown here, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. We're going to be doing a Let's Talk video, and I am joined here with Drake,
What up? It's at Drakester.
and we are going to be talking about the Call of Duty League of Cold War and the CDL. So, without further ado, let's just get right into it. So, how it's going to work again? If you didn't watch the first Let's Talk video, I'm going to be asking Drake questions, and vice versa. We're going to be basically going off the same question. So, yeah, so the first question I have here is, who is the most dominant team online at the moment?
Online at the moment, would it have to be FaZe, even though they're on a losing streak? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Did they win? We checked this out last night. I'm pretty sure they lost
Yeah, I believe
to
they lost
Thieves.
to Thieves yesterday. I
Yeah,
believe. I think it was. I don't know if it was 3-1, 3-2, but I'm not for
we
sure.
we definitely should have fact checked this.
You definitely should have, yeah, but it's all right.
Yep. All
But
right.
considering they won the stage 1 major and they got into did they win stage 2 as well? I don't think no. We just had stage 2. I think Toronto won stage 2, I believe.
That I am not sure either.
I'm pretty sure Toronto won stage 2. It was either Toronto or someone else. We should have factored, but that's all right.
What's the
But
CDL bracket? I'll bring this up.
but I also agree that FaZe is most likely the most dominant team, but they are on some like a little dry streak right now because I feel like teams are figuring out how they play, especially a BZ being as
Yep.
aggressive as he is in this game. I think people are starting to exploit that and slow down and wait for him while he's challenging and just get easy kills on him, especially in search, I believe as well. So I feel like they are the most dominant team, but I feel like there's a lot of other teams coming up, like Toronto, Surge. There's been a lot of roster changes and stuff like that, or a lot of rookies coming into the scene this year, which is very surprising to me. And a lot of the pro players that a lot of people know are in the Challenger League right now, just because they keep getting taken out by all the other teams. But while he's fact checking this, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next question. It's pretty much the same question, but it is, who is the most dominant team on LAN? Who do you think will be the most dominant team when we're on a LAN setting?
So I know we talked about this. We've talked about this before, and I know your answer, but I just want to make a point that I didn't bring up the first time is that most of these players have not ever played on LAN. So like on paper, it looks like Optic's gonna be god tier again because I mean, Optic will just shit on everyone, you know what I'm saying? Once they have no excuses to be made, and once it's solely based on performance and team communication, I think Optic is easily going to be one of the best teams just because, you know, Formal Scump already know each other. Dashy's been in the mix since BO4. Only got his really own light in BO4, and Envoy, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
So I
he
mean,
played fantastic last year, and especially in Search and Destroy. Envoy was a big part of Optic's success last year, or Huntsman's success last year.
mhm,
So I agree that they are most likely on paper should be the favorites, even though FaZe is also going to be in the big contender because all four of
mhm,
those players are also playing on land. Same with the subliners.
yep.
There are a few players on the subliners that I believe haven't. Like I think Mac played last year, and then Hydra I believe is their new fourth. I think he is another. He was in the Challenger League, but I'm pretty sure he's been in the Pro League before because I'm pretty sure I've seen his name before. I don't know if he's played on the land or not, but like Insight and then what's the other Standy? I don't think those guys have played on the land before, and that's been a big part of their success on their team. So I feel like once they get into the land setting, especially if there's a
Mhm.
crowd, which we'll get into that later on,
Yep.
but I
We'll
feel
touch
like
back on this question later because these two questions go hand in hand.
yeah, and I really feel like some of those teams aren't going to be able to handle the pressure of the crowd, especially if they're going up against Optic with how loud everyone knows that the Optic crowd is in the green wall. So I feel like Optic will still take the cake, but I still feel like even Empire, all those players have played on LAN, I believe as well. So I feel like
Mhm.
we'll see them going back up the top. I believe they're still at the top. I believe it is Empire, and then um, I don't know if it's Thieves and Optic, but there's a tie for third and fourth, I believe, in the CDL points right now. But yeah, we got stage 3 coming around the corner. We got one more week of league matches, and then we'll get into the next major. I believe is probably around the 10th of May, around there. I'm not for sure the date, but yeah.
As of 5 days ago, it's FaZe at 225 CDL points, Empire at 190, Chicago at 160, Subliners at 150, and Ultra at 145. And
So
that's just
Ultra,
top five.
Ultra
Yep.
was the one that won the major then last week then because they got bumped up a lot from that, I believe.
Yep. They're 15 over LA Thieves. So
Yeah, all those teams I feel like will be great on land. Even the Thieves, they've been having some roster changes here recently as
Mhm.
well, getting rid of Temp and putting in some more up and coming players. But I think it's nice seeing rookie players getting a chance to shine, even though it may be online, but at least they're getting a chance to play with some of the best players in the world, be considered a top contender. So I think that's super cool that they're able to pick and choose who they want from the Challenger League, which is really nice, I believe. I
same. I mean, imagine being picked by one of your idols. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously that doesn't happen to everyone. And if you are, one of those players and challengers that just gets picked by someone that you've been watching, like that's just got to be the
Mm.
most satisfying feeling ever. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I feel like compared to how it was, like 5, 6 years ago, I feel like it's a lot harder to get into the pro
Oh
league,
yeah.
especially now with how small
Mhm.
everything is with all the pro teams. So I feel like even being picked now, it just feels like a great honor because someone is recognizing you being a good player. And
You never knew how to be a part of a pro team back in the day. Like now it's
yeah,
just like it's super like it's meta to have, team rotations.
yeah, at least you have a
And
way to kind of like work up and show that you're good. Back in the day, you just play league player, play the competitive mode on the COD, and hopefully you run into a pro player and just kind of like shit on them in a way, and
it's like shit.
just get recognized that way. I
Yeah.
think that's how a lot of the older like up and like some of the veteran players did back in the day, but most of them just started off, dominating on the early Black Ops 2 games and Black Ops 1, even Modern Warfare 3 games. So
Mhm.
it definitely is a lot harder to get in the pro scene now, but it just makes it for a better season and more competitive action. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next question here. So we're going to talk about the current meta. So the current meta right now is the K-Rig, the QBZ, and the AK-74U. Do you think that this will stay the meta or the rest of the game, or do you feel like it's going to change?
Obviously it does depend on patch notes if they're gonna, buff the AK or again or whatever. Um and I mean no one's mad about the guns in rotation right now, I'm sure. I'm sure who is using the Mac 10? Someone's really on the Mac 10 in Pro League.
I believe you can't use DLC guns in CDL,
The
as far
Mac
as I know. That is
Yeah.
a DLC weapon, I believe. Yeah,
Oh, maybe it wasn't the
the
Mac 10. What's the
the Molino, the
the
Malino,
the Milan? Yeah, yeah,
Milano,
yeah. That
Milano.
one. The one
How
that
you
was
pronounce
super
that?
good in the beta.
Yeah, the Milano. Yep, that was
Yeah,
the name of it. Yeah.
people have been using that too, and it's nice to see gun switch up in rotation. But like obviously you got like your S tier guns and your A tier, and it honestly just depends on personal preference if they want to go with the best, or if they want to go with something that feels better for themselves.
I agree. I think we'll be seeing the 7.4U and the Carrick the rest of the season, in my opinion, no less. But I feel like the flex gun may change. I feel like the 7.4U is just too good at the moment, and I don't think they're going to change it. And the
Hmm.
K-Rig just seems like the most logical AR. But I have been seeing some pro players and some of their live stream stuff using the FFAR. And I don't know if they're planning on using that as a flex gun or if they're going to use that as the main AR. I don't think they will. But I just feel like the K-Rig just beams too much to get rid of it at the moment, honestly.
It does be lasering. It does be
Yeah,
doing that.
it does a heck of a lot of difference. I haven't really seen people using the QBZ as much lately as they were opposed to like 2 weeks ago. But that could just be players not being as great with the gun and it being weird and having to adjust and stuff like that. So another thing we should talk about is the sniping. I feel like that has hurt the scene a lot this year with there not being any snipers in the league.
I
Um,
agree.
what
I agree.
what opinions you got on that?
Sniping is a big part of search and destroy, and I will argue anyone that says different. It is a completely different play style. I mean, unless you're like quick scoping people, you know what I'm saying? People in CDL been using snipers and S&D and overkill classes literally forever. Like I remember watching people in Black Ops 3 with the SVG and the VMP, you know what I'm saying? Just like
Mm.
unless it was banned, but like it's always been meta to for someone to rock a sniper and S&D, and now it's just going on gun skill. And I think Search and Destroy is a lot more enjoyable to watch when you get nasty clips, like when Dashy and BO4 was snapping on him with the with the
Yeah,
sniper,
and
like
Sim. Both of them were
And Simp.
incredible
Simp,
at
yeah.
with sniping in Black Ops 4. That was the thing.
It
That
just
made it
adds
fun to watch. Yeah.
it's another aspect of the game that we're missing this year. So we're just relying solely on gun skill, and I can see why. Like we're online, shots might not connect, but like, who the hell cares? Like, sorry for cursing, but like, it's a part of the game that needs to be there, and it's not there. And the outcome of many tournaments could have been changed due to snipers being added.
I agree, and it goes along with the same thing with the smokes if they just put smokes in, but apparently there's been issues with the smokes not having aim assist with someone looking into the smoke, so I believe that's why there's no snipers in the league at the moment. You have aim assist while you're in the smoke. But yeah, I agree that it does make Surge a lot less enjoyable to watch. And
Just ban smokes.
yeah, well, they need smokes to be able to like cross because if you don't throw down a
True.
smoke, someone's gonna get picked super easily. Because
But
sniping a lot of the pro players say that sniping in this game's super easy, which
yeah,
which it is. So
but it's way too far into the game for them not to have addressed the situation
yeah,
and
they haven't said nothing about it at
yeah,
all.
exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't give me a lot of hope that'll get added this year, unfortunately. Even if they do add it in this game, like what does that prove? Like halfway through the season, you couldn't use it, and now meta changes.
Yeah,
I mean, meta always changes, but like this is a pretty drastic change.
I agree. So we'll move on to the next question here. For the next question I have, how do you feel about using quote unquote DLC maps in the rotation as well as other comp maps like Raid Express and Standoff? Hopefully, is going to be added here in the probably next stage, I believe, or maybe it might be at the major. I doubt it because they haven't been practicing it because I don't even think it's in the game yet. But
hmm
how do you feel about them using those types of maps compared to new maps that we haven't seen before?
Yeah, yeah. No one's mad at having classic maps brought back. It's just they've been added every year since they were released damn near. So it's a lot of people like to see fresh artwork and fresh maps, you know. It's just like this belongs in this game, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like just bringing back nostalgic memories to keep a fan base alive is not the way to do it, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, I'm not a developer. I don't know how hard it is to create a map. I assume it's not easy, but I also assume that reskinning a map is the easier route to do it. I'm not calling anyone out. I'm not mad at standoff being brought back, but I just hope the map doesn't get stained because of the game and how people play it now.
I honestly feel like the maps that we have right now, Raid Express and hopefully Standoff in the future, are fantastic maps. Especially they did really well back in the day on Black Ops 2.
hmm
And you can tell that some of the teams, you can tell the people that's played the maps before, like competed on the maps before, just play differently. And
hmm
apparently, I believe, as some of the pro players say, that like Raid especially plays especially different. Wow, plays really different compared to how it did in Black Ops 2, and then adding control to Raid as well, so it's not just hardpoint and search. It has all three of the game modes. Definitely gives a different aspect to the map, and I feel like I think it's fun to watch. You see some of the classic spots that people sit, and you see some new spots like the tree in the back by basketball court. I'd never seen that spot before till this year,
What
and
tree?
the tree right outside kitchen in the back where you can see up towards laundry up those stairs.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've never seen that spot before till this year, and we played Black Ops 2 a shit ton back in the day. So
Oh yeah, new spots are always being
yeah,
added in with different movement types and how the game works with the map, and it's super awesome.
I feel like you can get around the map quicker now that there's sliding and stuff like that. You can slide off things quickly instead of dolphin diving. Some of
hmm
that I feel like I think
Of
it's
course
cool,
it'll play different. Of course it'll play different.
but it would be nice to see some new maps. I feel like we got Apocalypse is in the rotation, I believe, just for Hardpoint.
hmm
But you know, we got Garrison, Checkmate. I don't know if they took out Garrison. They might took out Garrison. Checkmate, and then you got let's see, Moscow, which we'll get into Moscow towards the end of the video because we have a special little topic to talk about at the end. So stay tuned. So leading on to the final question, so with the big topic, we're gonna go back to LAN events here. So what are your opinions on LAN events being held during a COVID crisis time? Or a COVID time like we are experiencing right now during quote unquote pandemic, if we're even considered still in that, which I believe we are.
hmm
So,
Yeah.
what are your opinions on hosting LAN events?
You know, everyone else is opening up, and I think this is the next step. You can't stay stagnant forever. You have to evolve somehow, and whether this is better for worse, I think we have to try it. Um, LAN events for Call of Duty, especially, are a major factor in. I mean, there's it's so much better to host on LAN because there's no excuses. It's straight gun skill. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's a very big part of it. That's how it's always been until the pandemic, unfortunately. Um, I'm not mad to see it change back, and even if it doesn't go through, I'll be happy that they tried because there will not be a what if they did that, what if they did this. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So that's my opinion on that. What are yours?
I feel like it'd be great for the scene because I feel like a lot of, especially the pro players, especially like Scum, Clayster, Krim, they don't want to compete online. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they
Yep.
don't want their legacy to be held for 2 years online.
Yep. Yep.
They'd rather make some noise on LAN and show all these rookie players who's still the best in the game. Um, but yeah, especially if like say Scum, Krim, or Clayster like retired online, I feel like that would just
Well,
suck. I feel like
well, Karma did.
yeah, Karma did. Yeah, exactly. I bet that just sucked. Honestly,
Yeah, I
I wouldn't
mean,
want to do
Karma didn't see it was coming back for the better, and he had to retire early, or maybe it wasn't early. You know, he retired pretty early for like his
that.
age. But I mean, I'm happy for him. Congratulations, he definitely earned his retirement. Just
Yeah,
sucks
yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to watch him on the sticks anymore.
Incredible career, honestly.
For real, for real.
But yeah, I feel like if we go back to LAN and there's a good Call of Duty game, we can see him make a return. I feel like he would be down to play again.
Yes,
I
I
just feel
think he would too.
I just feel
I
like he
think,
doesn't want to play online.
yeah, yeah, and I can see why. I mean, you're so used to LAN, and you can't just go from what am I trying to say? Let me recoup these thoughts. You can't go from LAN to online. There's just it's night and day difference.
Yeah.
Like it's just you just can't do it and expect the best. The best is LAN.
Even playing field, everyone's on the same connection. It's just
Yep.
who's better at the game at that point and who's better at working as a team. That's why we feel like, or I feel like at least Optic on paper seems like they can be the most dominant team if they all work
Yep.
together and we go back to LAN, it's even, stuff like that. So, but I feel like for a crowd standpoint, they won't. Say there's like a major tournament like Stage 3, the major. I feel like if that is held on LAN, which I don't think it will be, I think we'll maybe like Stage 4 or 5, if there even is one of those will be held online or on LAN, excuse me. But without crowds, I feel like they're really going to try to push a crowd during COD champs,
Mm-hmm.
just to get that energy back and get everyone excited. And I feel like those will sell out really fast, especially for there not being a LAN event in almost a year,
Mm-hmm.
over a year actually, I believe. Um,
Yeah. It's been
I
over a year.
think I think we had 2 LAN events last year. I think London and I don't Minnesota. I think it might have been. I'm
Yeah, it
not for
was
sure.
a couple of the first ones.
Yeah, and there were some pretty exciting moments that happened there. We got Huntsman and Empire. We started that little rivalry against Grim and Scump, which was super exciting.
Yep.
But yeah, I feel
I'd
like
love to see that in person
yeah,
because
you'd love to see him getting up and screaming across at each other. Because
exactly,
online,
because
the
that's
energy's just
different.
not there. Yeah, the energy's
It's
just
not.
not there
When you
online.
can look over to your left or right and see the person you just shit on and shot their
Yeah,
body and look them in the eyes and tell them I'm gonna do it again, that's different
yeah.
than through a screen. Like, I mean, there's just so much more that goes into it. And this is like with playing sports too. If anyone's played like sports or anything, like crowd chant can just mean make or break you, honestly. If there's not a crowd chant, no one's hyping you up, like you're just solely relied on you, you know. But if a crowd's chanting you on, like you got adrenaline pumping, like you have to prove it for them instead of just yourself. If you got Optic fans shouting green wall in the stands, like there's no way Scump's gonna let them down as easy as he would
Yeah,
as if there wasn't, you know, like
unless it's James, but that's
unless it's champs. Then he's already got Mamba mentality there.
but yeah, we already got third place with James, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like especially with Optic, they play off the crowd so heavily, and I feel like that has been a big reason for their success over the past decade even. You know, all the teams I've been playing, especially the Dynasty, I feel like they really played off the crowd a lot, and
Yes.
I feel like that doesn't just go for Optic, Phase, um, Empire or NVS back in the day. I mean, there's just rivalries that we can't really see online as much as for a
Mhm.
spectator point of view. It'd be better to see it in person and see them, getting up and yelling over, Scumbit Crim, you're dog shit or you're so fucking bad, like he did to Formal a few years ago. I feel
Mhm.
like this moments like that make it memorable, and
Oh yeah.
online, you just
I'll,
you can't
I'll
really
never
make that great
I'll never
memories on there.
never forget. We were was it BO3? Yeah. Someone in the crowd chanted scump shit on Formal, and someone in the crowd goes, "That's why Formal got dropped." Formal proved himself after that, and now he's back with Scump.
That was World War II, I believe, because they
Was
played
that World War
actually
II?
because they played IW together and won champs. So I'm pretty sure it was after.
Or games?
It's definitely World War II, I believe.
I just remember it. I remember the casters trying not to acknowledge it, and
Yeah.
it was funny, to say the least.
But
But I'm happy the dynamic duo is back.
at least for the online league, they've done a fantastic job at like the production or even the set of like how they have the casters kind of set up. It kind of makes it feel like it's something
Mhm.
kind of
Th-
special, but they're doing
This
the best
year,
they can. Yeah.
this year it's good. Last
It,
year it was lacking, but they were working, as it was. They
I
didn't
feel
have
like it's
time
kind
to
of a
prepare
rush.
for it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel like
they
it's
were. It was
rushed.
very rushed, and I mean, you can't just develop something like that overnight. That's a whole system of like getting everyone linked together, like synchronized, having editors do this, that, and the other thing for screens. Like, it's very time consuming, and you have to have a great workflow. And and I can understand why it was so pretty choppy last year, but this year it looks beautiful, and they killed the visuals. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna lie.
I
I
agree.
think it looks great.
I agree.
Mhm.
So let's move on to our last big topic here. We're going to talk about the Optic and Minnesota drama that happened 2 weeks ago at the Stage 2 majors when Accuracy, I believe, got the 1v3 against Optic, and there was a tweet that riled up a big part of the community. So the question here is, how do you feel about like drama and like orgs, especially the orgs, because it's not actually like the top people in the orgs making the comments or the tweets. How do you feel about inappropriate tweets or like non-professional tweets going out? Like the one I'll put the picture here on the screen so you guys can get a visual if you guys haven't seen what the tweet was, because it was deleted shortly after it was tweeted because there was a lot of backlash from it.
Lots. So people are human. People make mistakes, and this one just slipped through the cracks, I think, and it was kind of blown up, especially because of who was involved with the tweet and what their name means to people. Yeah, the tweet I think was pretty messed up. Not gonna lie. Um, but could I say the same if they shit on another team that was not Optic? If the teams were reversed, I don't think it even would have happened because Hex is way too classy to say something like that, especially like this is taken out of context, I think. I mean, but it was taken out of context enough to where Scump had to talk about it. And when Scump's talking to you about real shit, he means it. Like there's no way you like why else would he say this? And it eventually got to the point where the tweet did have to get deleted, but I definitely think it was for the better because that one it was pretty messed up. Very clever wordplay, like you did say to me
Honestly,
earlier.
it was a very well thought out
Yeah.
tweet, honestly, and especially with we're witnessing a breakdown and then them putting the hashtag brick by brick. It was actually super clever tweet, but honestly, it was just
A
wrong
little
time.
much. A little
If it
much.
would have been maybe a few hours after you know,
It
after
was
it happened.
instantaneous.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was like
instantaneous.
right after the match happened.
I mean, whoever thought of that, quick wits to them. No cap. Like you
They
got
were
that
trying
on.
to get the clicks and the views on it, and which it did. It
Yep.
got posted and got 1,800 likes. I'm sure shortly after, and that Scump made a post on it as well. I'll read it to you guys. This is some of the most disrespectful shit I've seen. We are literally heartbroken, and you use this for an impression. Post the clutch, post your celebration, but kicking us like this. Your team was literally banking on us getting first seed last week. So unbelievably classless,
Classless.
classless.
Yeah.
Which I feel like they should have done that. They should have posted accuracies 1v3 because it was a moment that will go down in the books forever,
Yeah.
and it'll be constant reminder of what happened. I don't personally from a spectator, I don't know why they all three are lined up right there, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Um,
Dash, you should not have been in that.
yeah, he
I don't
shouldn't.
know. I don't know. We can get on to the analytics later,
Yeah,
but I just think when you post something about your dub, like you post the hype shit. You don't put other people down.
yeah. That goes
Like
back to like bullying and stuff like that as well. But they're
I
all
mean,
adults, so
it is. You know what I'm saying? It's on the internet. They're grown up. I'm sure.
yeah,
I'm sure. It's forgiven, forgotten already. If not, then there's another rivalry, and it'll just be more hype to watch them rematch.
yeah. I agree. So I have a question that goes on with that, which you kind of touched on there a little bit ago. But if it wasn't Optic, say Minnesota was playing like London or something like that, would it have been a big deal if they would have tweeted something similar to that?
I don't think so. I think just the fact that it was Optic and the choice words that was said, and especially the picture, that's what really gets me because you are posting, someone super upset, that's just fucked. Like you really are putting someone down at that point. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's on the internet, you just got to be a man sometimes. Like who really cares, but it's just the whole premise of it. It's supposed to be kept professional and it wasn't, and the line was crossed.
I 100% agree, but I feel like Minnesota did it, like I said, for the clicks, for the likes, for the reputation, because Optic is one of the most followed esports teams, especially in COD, and
Oh yeah.
Scump is the most, I believe, most followed COD player in the world with 2.2 million followers on Twitter and 1 point something on 1 point something million on YouTube, something like that. But yeah, I feel like if it
Just a
wasn't
couple
Optic,
100,000.
if it wasn't Optic, it would have definitely been. It would not have been as big a deal, I don't
Taken
think.
to light as
Yeah,
fast as it did. I mean, I'm sure it would have gotten caught, eventually, but like just because it was Optic, it happened like instantaneous. Like that's a no go.
there's even a lot of Minnesota personnel. Like Attach is part of Minnesota. He is, I believe, just a content creator from Minnesota, and he even said it was out of line. Midnight, she was a former. I can't speak. Yeah,
Former. Ha,
yeah,
you
there we
got me
go.
twisted too. You got
She
me
was a
twisted too.
Yeah, she was a member of Optic, way back when, and she is the head of the content there at Minnesota. And she even said it was way out of line. She even posted an apology for it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. So we got one last question here. Is Call of Duty getting too soft?
All right. I don't think so. I think the community is still as toxic as ever. But when it comes to CDL, um, they have to meet society's standards of, how to act and who to act around. I mean, given the game is meant for 18 plus, and if you're not if you're watching it and you're under the age, like that's a fair warning already. You know what I'm saying? Like you had to have been this age to do it. And if you can't handle the stuff that is meant to be heard at that age, then that's a problem. That's not meant on everyone else. That's something you got to figure out. No cap, real talk. But
Hmm.
yeah, the fan base still pretty toxic. But as far as CDL, I love the professionalism that they've taken on, and it to me, seeing it evolve over the years, back from just like I don't know if you're gonna do this, but like put a clip of like the CDL layout from Black Ops 2 and then from how it looks like nowadays. It's so much cleaner. The evolution and progress of how they present themselves is so much better in my opinion.
Yeah,
And
even the game, the events, everything.
yep, the gameplay, the events, and obviously over time technology evolves, graphics look better, et cetera, et cetera. But I can just appreciate how far it's come from way back when. I really enjoyed the evolution story.
I agree. It's not like there hasn't always been, drama or beef in the CDL. We
Oh,
had
all the time,
we
all
had
the
Egg
time.
and Nate shot way back in the day, where Egg shoved Nate shot. That was a big deal way back then.
Mhm.
Parasite's been in some of those. Karma, there's been a lot. Killa was a main one back in Black Ops 2. He would talk shit to everyone, even though he was getting shit on all the time. But
Hey, and that's just his
yeah,
personality,
it's
like,
yeah,
he could get away with it back then.
it's great entertainment, and that's what I think what it boils down to is entertainment for the fans and for the spectators watching. I feel like that's why Minnesota did the things that they do, or they did for that, because they knew it would get a reaction. They knew it would get people talking and get people, riled up about, a bunch of things. You got the drama between Krim and Scump from last year or from 2 years ago, when there's a whole stuff about that, but we won't get into
Mhm.
that because that's another topic for some other time.
That's a whole 'nother video because
Honestly,
that stems from back in the day.
yeah, years ago.
Yeah, yeah, the we can there's already analytic videos over it, but, like, that's a whole 'nother video.
Go watch Hex's podcast with Krim. He talks all about it in there. But yeah,
Ooh.
that was pretty much all the questions I had for the two of us and the topics that we have. Is there anything else that you can think of at the moment that you want to, put in here?
Follow my Twitter at Drakester.
I was getting there, damn it. No, I'm just kidding.
That's what I wanted to put in.
Okay, well, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Please be sure to leave a like down below if you did. Type in the comments your opinions on what things that we talked about and how you feel about the league and how it's going right
Or
now.
other questions.
Yeah, or the questions that you want us to talk about. Yeah, or either future Let's Talk videos. I have a few other ideas that we're going to be talking about some other time with Razor Plant. I have some more Drake and some with the Ghost Knights as well. So there's a lot of content being made, and there's a lot of ideas stirring around the both of us. So subscribe for more, and don't forget to follow Drakester down below. His Twitter and his YouTube and Twitch will be down there as well, because he is going to start streaming and making videos again.
Yes,
So
sir. Yes,
be on the
sir.
lookout for that. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy, please be sure to. I already said that, so good one.
Good one.
But yeah, see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Bye.